missing American aircrew in Iran, still not located despite an enormous search and rescue mission. With a bounty on their head and Iranians trying to capture them first, this British former prisoner of war knows exactly what they'll be going through.
You don't have the capacity to be scared. You've got to outthink the Iranian commanders. You've got to outthink everyone around.
Also tonight, embarrassment for Scotland Yard as a bag of weapons is left outside the Mayor of London's home. Artemis passes the halfway point to the moon and sends back some spectacular views of Earth. And...
feathers the pass through! And Shea Charles has done it again!
An FA Cup upset. Arsenal are out as the Saints march into the semi-finals. This is ITV News with Romilly Weeks. Good evening. A US service member is spending a second night in hiding in southwestern Iran with a £50,000 bounty on their head. Almost 36 hours after their jet was shot down, a huge American search and rescue operation continues from the skies, but on the ground, groups of Iranians are attempting to capture them alive. In the US, officials have remained tight-lipped on the crash, but President Trump has issued a new threat to Iran, promising hell will rain down if the Strait of Hormuz isn't opened in the next 2 days. With the latest, here's Olivia Guthrie.
A missing US officer somewhere in enemy territory. Footage appears to show armed Iranians hunting for them, keen to claim the reported £50,000 bounty on their head. The wreckage of their fighter jet paraded on Iranian state television. A propaganda coup for Tehran and a difficult reminder for those like squadron leader John Peters, who was shot down and captured in Iraq.
You don't have the capacity to be scared because your brain is so full of what you've got to do next, trying to outwit, because part of that chess game, not at a political level, but you've got to outthink the Iranian commanders. You've got to outthink everyone around, and you no longer have the system around you. You are plucked and you are totally on your own.
The missing service person's president posted on social media today, "Remember when I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal or open up the Hormuz Strait? Time is running out," says President Trump. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. Glory be to God. It's just days since Trump claimed Iran was beaten. Following false claims by the US president about the complete destruction of Iran's air defense system, says this IRGC spokesperson, an American hostile fighter jet was shot down in central Iranian airspace by a newly developed advanced aerospace defense system. The jet was completely destroyed, and further search operations are still ongoing. Those ongoing operations are now a race between the US and Iran, the latter claiming to have shot down a second US plane which crashed in the Persian Gulf, a rescue mission whose crew then themselves had to be rescued. US Black Hawks have come under sustained gunfire, all aircraft on high alert as they hunt for their missing comrade. Olivia Guthrie, ITV News.
Scotland Yard has suspended 5 police officers from frontline duty after a bag of guns was found abandoned in the street. It was reportedly discovered by a member of the public outside the home of the Mayor of London. Well, our reporter Philip Syme is here. Philip, this is all pretty embarrassing. Do we know how it happened?
Yes, we all place the highest level of trust in police officers who carry guns, but it seems something has gone badly wrong in this case. At around 9:40 on Tuesday evening, police took a call from a member of the public who found a bag of guns on a street in South London. According to the Sun newspaper, that was outside the home of the Mayor of London, Sir Sadiq Khan, and in the bag, well, there was an MP5 semi-automatic Heckler and Koch carbine, a Glock pistol, a taser, and ammunition. Now, officers responded within 7 minutes and safely recovered those weapons. Scotland Yard later confirming, "We are urgently reviewing the circumstances of this incident and recognise the concern it may cause." At this stage, it is believed the bag was misplaced by on-duty officers a short time before the member of the public located it. They repeat, "We recognise the concern this may cause," and an internal review was immediately launched into the circumstances. Now, the Mayor of London, who does receive police protection, has also released a statement calling this a very serious incident, and as the investigation into it continues, we understand that 5 officers have this weekend been removed from frontline duties.
Phil, thank you for that. And police have made a new arrest in connection with an alleged arson attack on 4 Jewish community ambulances in London last month. The Crown Prosecution Service confirmed the 4th arrest during a hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court, at which 20-year-old Hamza Iqbal Rehan Khan, who's 19, and a 17-year-old boy who can't be named for legal reasons were charged in connection with the alleged attack. From next week in Northern Ireland, parents who experience a miscarriage before 24 weeks of pregnancy will be entitled to bereavement leave. The new regulations will also make it a day-one right for workers, abolishing the qualifying period of 26 weeks of continuous employment. Deborah McAleese reports on a rule change which could soon find its way to the rest of the UK.
It stays with you forever, in anxiety, in sadness, in seeing other kids.
Around 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage every year in the UK. Karina Campbell suffered 2 in 5 months. And for her, and so many women like her and their partners, the loss is not only physical, but something they're expected to carry quietly, often returning to work within days.
Going into that room and being told, "I'm really sorry, but your baby didn't make it," is one aspect of it. And with my second miscarriage, I just took time off completely.
Before now, the legal right to paid leave after miscarriage before 24 weeks did not apply to anywhere in the UK. But that has now changed in Northern Ireland, where parents will be legally entitled to take 2 weeks bereavement leave.
Miscarriage still is a bit of a taboo issue. Like lots of women and families go through this, but there still is, I guess, a reluctance to talk about it, and certainly a reluctance in the workplace.
This change in Northern Ireland is something that we hope will happen in the rest of the UK as well, because it offers parents really important time to recover from something that is a very personal loss.
For many, like Karina, miscarriage is a loss that deserves time, space and recognition.
The fact that you'll be able to know these resources are here and this law will protect you as an employee at a horrible moment of your life is fantastic.
Deborah McAleese, ITV News.
The astronauts on board Artemis 2 are now closer to the moon than they are to Earth, and if the crew needed a boost on day 3 of their mission to the far side of the moon, they got it from Hollywood star Ryan Gosling, as Rosie Dowsing reports.
If you've ever wondered how an astronaut keeps fit without the force of gravity, NASA's live stream from the Artemis 2 spacecraft will give you the answers. For outsiders looking in, even daily exercise is fascinating. But for those on board looking out, the view is even more impressive. These extraordinary pictures were taken by the crew as they watched planet Earth get smaller behind them and their destination, the moon, on the approach.
And so it's already special, the view that we have. And yes, the Earth is quite small and the moon is definitely getting bigger.
And if that wasn't surreal enough, they've been interviewed about it by a Canadian broadcaster patched through to space.
Hi there, Jeremy Henson. It's Julia Boatman from ITV News here on Earth. Great to pass you en route to the moon.
Had a bit of a nap and got up. The Earth was just so far away again.
I'm not an astronaut.
And well-wishers have included actor Ryan Gosling, who embarks on his own space adventure in his latest film, Project Hail Mary.
Sending all our best wishes to the Artemis 2 crew.
I would just say to Ryan, it's art imitates science and vice versa.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
Artemis 2 is travelling on a looping path that will carry the crew around the far side of the moon and back again. They're well over halfway, travelling around 6,700 miles an hour on a journey expected to last 10 days. The first of its kind in 50 years, and one NASA hopes will pave the way for many more. Rosie Dowsing, ITV News.
It's a rowing rivalry that dates back almost 200 years, and tonight it's Cambridge who are celebrating victory over rivals Oxford in the boat race. Lucille Brobby joined the thousands of spectators to watch from the banks of the Thames.
Thousands of spectators lined the banks of the River Thames today for the boat race, one of Britain's oldest and most iconic sporting traditions.
The flag drops and we are underway.
Teams from the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge went head-to-head over a 4.25-mile stretch from Putney to Mortlake, with months of training coming down to just minutes on the water.
Cambridge's decade of dominance is over.
In the women's race, it was Oxford who came out on top, winning comfortably by almost 10 seconds.
Dark blue heaven.
In the men's race, Cambridge took victory, their 7th win in 8 years.
Amazing. It was closer than we thought it was going to be, I think. But, I mean, they rode incredibly. There's guys in that boat with amazing experience. And, yeah, we had a few quid on the race, so we're glad Cambridge won.
Supporters travelled from across the country to be here, many arriving early to secure a spot along the riverbank.
It's really, really lovely. It's so good to see everyone come out.
The atmosphere is pretty similar though to like a American college football game. Yes. It feels like, so we're having a good time.
It's nice. There's a lot of movement around, you know, everyone eating, drinking, enjoying, you know. So it's a good vibe. I do like it.
For some, it's about the rivalry. For others, the atmosphere. But for everyone here, it's a tradition that continues to bring people together. The Oxford versus Cambridge boat race is in its 171st year, and from looking at the size of the crowds, it remains a popular event and shows no signs of slowing down. A historic race that's still drawing crowds and capturing attention. Lucille Brobby, ITV News.
It wouldn't be the FA Cup without at least one shock, and we got it tonight as Premier League leaders Arsenal were knocked out by Southampton. Saints joined Manchester City and Chelsea in the semi-finals as they both won comfortably. Chris Scudder was watching.
It was back in 1976 that Southampton shocked Man United to win the FA Cup. Now, 50 years on, it was Arsenal in the firing line. Ross Stewart with the Saints goal, and one that England returnee Ben White will not want to see again. With the League Cup final already lost, Arsenal were desperate not to blow both domestic cups and looked like saving the day with an equaliser from Victor Gyökeres. But there was something in the air on an extraordinary night at St Mary's, and substitute Shay Charles won the match for the Saints. A division below, but rising to the occasion to wreck Arsenal's hopes of a possible league and cup double. Southampton are heading back to Wembley, half a century on. Port Vale had waited 72 years to get this far in the cup. They could hardly contain their excitement, but it took just 1 minute for their quarter-final dreams to be left in tatters. At least the League One strugglers can say they were knocked out by some of Brazil's World Cup-bound stars, João Pedro for one, the teenage prodigy Esteval for another, and there was no shame in that. For the record, Chelsea racked up 7 goals without reply. Liverpool's cup hopes also ended in a thrashing at Manchester City on a day when Erling Haaland was merciless in front of goal. The Norwegian was back to his best with a hat-trick as City won 4-0. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
Finally, if you were watching the racing on ITV this afternoon, you'll have seen the big race of the day, the Corgi Derby.
2, 1, go!
And they're off.
The annual event began 4 years ago to mark Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. This year, more than 50 dogs applied. 14 were selected, but there can only be one winner. And the spoils went to 3-year-old Islay. And the secret to her speed, you ask? Her owner says she loves to eat hot dogs. Not real dogs, luckily, just hot ones. And that is it for tonight from all the team here. Good night.
temperatures